David Select scents. Don't get me wrong, we sell several scents and I like them all and I use them all at different times of the year. But David Select scents are the ones that I keep going back to. I go to the Scrape King spray, I go to the Scrape King paste, and I go to the Buck Junkie spray. That's all new. First time we've had it this year. Why would I go to these three and not all this stuff all the time? Well, my main reason is because I primarily hunt scrapes and rubs. And so I wanted the most authentic way, or the most authentic, most realistic scent that deer were already doing in the woods on rubs and scrapes. And what I came up with was the Buck Preorbital, that's the Scrape King, applying that over a scrape, taking the paste, sliding it on limbs above the scrape, so putting it on the actual limbs above the scrape, and taking Buck Junkie and putting a little bit of that in there. Why would I mix the two? Well, the reason is because this is just preorbital. The Scrape King is just preorbital. Buck Junkie is preorbital a little bit, but it's also the forehead, the salivary, the nasal. It's all of the glands that are in the head. And what I found was by applying the two of them in a little bit of a different area, I was saying so much more to those deer, and I seemed like I was affecting the bigger deer in the area. I'm not going to tell you that if you go buy my stuff, you're only going to see big bucks. That's not the case. But I definitely saw a better response from my more mature deer. And so that's why I seem to always go back to these. Now, the way that I do it is on a rub. I will take the Scrape King and spray it on the top of the rub, not down where the deer is going to be actually rubbing the tree. And it's important that I don't ever put the Scrape King on the rub itself. Buck Junkie though, that goes exactly where I tear the bark up. And what I'm looking for is that Buck Junkie to soak into there. And so that those deer, when they come up and they sniff it for the first time, they can smell another buck has rubbed that tree. And then the paste, I'm taking the same way I did the spray, and I'm putting it up above, either on the limbs next to the rub, or I'm putting it on something way high on the tree, just so that scent keeps to get out there. So that's how I do it on a rub. On a scrape, what I'm doing is kind of the same thing. Spray in the trees up above, or on the limbs above and on the leaves, and then I'm sliding the paste on there so it stays for a long time. And then I come with Buck Junkie and I spray a little bit on some lower limbs, especially if I have a licking branch that's hanging down. That's where the Buck Junkie goes. I kind of single that out so that all three scents are there, or all two scents, really just two different forms of the Scrape King. But the Buck Junkie, even though it's in the same place, it's a little bit different. If you're just trying to figure out which one should I pick, they have several to pick from. I'm going to tell you David Select scents, because you're going to say something to those deer that they've been waiting to hear all year.